ready for another lesson?
Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we have some interesting release date changes as well as some other news coming for you. No trailer talk this week. The new to streaming is a light week, but it is a good one. We'll get to what we're watching, of course, and then a main review for the episode. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. A little bit longer of a title. I wish it was just like Shang-Chi or abbreviated that, but I don't know. It always throws me off when I read the full title like that.
When do they start doing the subtitles? What was the? I guess the first Avenger. Trend
in, like, I'd say after like 2013, everyone stopped doing like number 2s and 3s, and after that,
yeah, but
like,
I guess
it's still around.
Marvel got out ahead of it too, I guess, because they had Captain America, the first Avenger. That was kind of like the first ones that theirs did, and even that's still phase 1.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like that died off pretty fast, and you'll still see it where it's like, you know, this movie 2 or whatever, but like, I feel like that was such a big thing to like just number your sequels, and then it just stopped being a thing for a long time, and it's still now it's just kind of, I would say, a little bit more split, but for a while it was like taboo to have your sequel just actually be a
we should get to a place where you just don't even call it the same thing. Like the first one, I
co-sign that.
First one will be like, I don't know, Iron Man, and then the second one will be like explosions in the sky or something crazy like that.
Man of Iron.
Well, even that then you're like in the Dark Knight trend or something like that. You know, I want like things with just stupid associations.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Well, joining me today, and as always, it's Night Fight Nathaniel Gingrich.
I always fight at night. Or did you say knife or night?
Night.
Okay, Night Fight.
Night Fight. Like the Fight Club.
The Night Fight Club.
Night Fight, exactly. The Night Fight Club.
The
Knife Night Fight Club.
Flight Night Fight Club.
The Knife
Shut
Fight Club.
Sorry, we're figuring out my name. It's a really big process.
It's always a work in progress.
How's it going, gang?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
Tired. Labor Day weekend, big sales time for us, as you can imagine. So.
Did you work all 3 days?
Oh yeah. I didn't even get it the worst. Some of the guys are on like week straight, 10 days. You know, you gotta make your money. But yeah, it was good. Wasn't too bad.
It's good.
Can't complain.
Keeping busy.
Keeping busy, exactly.
Also joining me is Tyler Vidalis, coming all the way in from Talo.
Hey, that's a dope ass place to be in. So
allegedly,
very remote place. He's extra remote today.
Some say you can't even find it.
You did though.
Either that or I was born here.
That'd be pretty cool.
Which was it?
I'll leave it up to you.
Oh, a little bit of sizzle
for you, the listener.
Yeah, not Adam.
I just think it's important for us to always remember, you know, that's who we're talking to. We're talking to you, listener.
Facts.
You right now.
You right there in your car, cleaning the dishes. I don't know where other places people. Yeah, the gym. I listen to podcasts at the gym, but I've realized that's not very common. I don't think.
I actually got a buddy who does the same thing, and
yeah,
I tell him every time too, like, you might be.
I cannot,
but.
Yeah, when I told you guys that, Tyler, you said I was a psychopath, so.
You are.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good to know. I'll own up to it, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's such a great way to, like, pass the time, get some information while you're working out. I don't know. I like it. Music doesn't always do it for me.
To each their own.
Agreed.
Tweech.
And rounding out the squadron, it's big bus fight. BlakeHolder.
I was wondering how we were going to throw this in there today, but
yeah,
they did have the bus fight in the beginning, so
yeah, your name was the trickiest one to figure out. I was like, there's no good B words to rhyme with, but then I remembered that glorious bus fight, and lo and behold, it's big bus fight Blake.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Not much. Classes started, homework's piling up, school's in full swing, but back to the grind.
I hear you, man.
The grind.
Oh, your little roboto here, Blake.
Keep trying. You're not.
Yeah, you're not completely gone, but
Oh, you may be completely gone.
yeah, he's sinking further into the matrix here. Maybe we'll pause really quick and see if we can figure this out. How you doing, Blake?
Good, man. Long weekend, as Nathaniel said, for the holiday, but it was cool. Got to do some things. Saturday, I went up to Madison to watch the Wisconsin-Penn State game with my dad.
Oh, that game was interesting from the highlights I saw.
Man, that was a really good game. It was just cool just to be around live sports, and obviously we're a huge family just into athletics. So we're like, dude, like, fuck it, let's go to Wisconsin and watch the game. They were ranked like 12. I think Penn State was 19 or something, so it was really good. So that was cool. Yeah, man, that was cool. Game lived up to the hype. Monday, got to barbecue with some family for like a little family cookout. That was cool. Celebrate my grandma's 85th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Shout out grandma.
Grandma Holder.
Yeah. So that's it, man. That's kind of all I got into this weekend. But yeah, it was cool.
Cool.
So
yeah,
I
live sports.
Yeah, I was back at the Faroe Field for Mizzou's home opener.
What type of field?
Faroe.
Faroe
Field. That's the name of the stadium. Faurot.
French word. That sounds
French word. Yeah, that does sound French.
Little throwback before the pod.
Yeah. But no, it was awesome to be back. Those games are always fun. Not the best opponent, but also we didn't play the best, so
right.
It is fun.
Win is a win, man.
A win is a win, 1-0. But I'm excited to get some actual good matchups at the home games. It'll be fun. Well, we can get on in here to the news.
Let's
Our first
dig
news
in.
Story of the week: Jungle Cruise sequel in the works at Disney. So,
has anyone seen the first one out of the squadron?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I don't know if I brought it up on what we're watching. I think I did.
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. But after $100 million in the domestic box office, they are going ahead and greenlighting a sequel.
Is Fast and Furious still? I'm sorry, I'm off track early here. I was thinking, is Fast and Furious 9 still like the highest grossing movie of the year? Maybe. Like, what are the odds that we end this year with that being number one?
That I don't know. That came out at a perfect time when theaters were opening back up. I think he said F that movie.
Yes,
he did. But in classic Blake fashion, he just tried to slip it under the rest of us in there.
Yeah, that came out at a good time because that was right when theaters reopened, so they did get a big boost. I think Shang-Chi did really well over the weekend.
Ooh.
I saw them hitting like 80 million in just the opening weekend. So Jungle Cruise has accumulated 100 million domestically and 187 million worldwide. So they have gone ahead and greenlit a sequel with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt set to return, with Michael Green, who co-wrote the original or the first one, back on to write the second one.
So having not seen it,
same director.
Having not seen it, and the fact that they are bringing back Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, I'm guessing neither of them die.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bit of sizzle, bit of spoilers, but yeah.
Well, there is all the tension in the movie, just gone from me.
So much tension. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I liked that movie. I think I talked about it when I brought it
seemed
up when
fun.
we were watching. It was fun. It's exactly what you expect. It was actually, a lot more funny than I thought it was. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson delivers a lot of really good lines. He was for sure the highlight of the movie for me. And so, I mean, if they keep it going with that same kind of humor, that same kind of banter, I think it'll be fun. I would be interested to see what they do with this story, because Jungle Cruise kind of had not a set narrative, but like you knew what the first one was kind of going to be about. But then I'm not going to say much more about this, but at the end of the movie, they're no longer in the jungle, basically. And so I don't know what they're going to do for the second one plot-wise, but this first one was open to interpretation. A sequel is certainly open for whatever they want to do with it. So I'm not going to say I'm excited for it, but I'm not mad about it that they're doing this.
Well, I think there's always room in the world for their kind of fun romp adventure franchise or something like that, you know, whether that be The Mummy or your Indiana Jones or your National Treasures or your whatever you want, whatever they try and make it. Soon, I think they're finally getting that Uncharted movie going, right?
Yeah, that should be coming out somewhat soon. I think sometime in 2022. But it's a pretty safe bet, adding on to what you were saying, Nathaniel. It's a pretty safe bet because this is also fairly family friendly.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say. So, I mean, when you have that kind of adventure style movie that's family friendly, that's obviously going to get you a lot of ticket sales, a lot of people watching. Because I don't think that $100 million mark, I think that's just for the box office. That doesn't include the early access streaming that you can pay $30 for, which I'm sure a lot of people did.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. So between the two of them, I'm sure they made a lot of money on this, and it makes sense for them to go ahead and greenlight a sequel.
Also means it must not have gotten pirated that much.
Or people didn't care enough to go and look for a pirated version. I feel like the people who would pirate that are not the people who would watch that movie.
True. Awesome.
Like a lot of families, probably.
Say there's not criminal families out there? That's right, I called them criminals.
Canceled. You're canceled.
That's it. I'm canceled for calling pirates criminals.
Well, the squadron is down to 3. We are now taking open applications.
Sorry, guys.
Send in your application, resume, cover letter, portfolio to backrowbanterpod@gmail.com.
I'm now pivoting to my truth-telling podcast where I call criminals criminals.
The catch is his replacement has to have some higher education.
I was about to say, yeah, must have a master's degree or doctorate. Actually, you know what? We prefer doctorate. We got to one up Nathaniel.
We got to level it up.
Yeah, exactly. We got to upgrade.
That's one of those 3 years. Must have 3 years of experience for entry level.
Right.
Well, now's your chance. We do have an entry level position open. All right. Well, speaking of sequels, Top Gun Maverick and Mission Impossible 7 both delayed by Paramount amid COVID-19 concerns.
Ooh.
So Top Gun Maverick delayed from November 19th to May 27th, 2022. Nearly a 6-month delay there. I think about a 6-month delay there, which is a lot more than I was expecting considering we've seen trailers for that movie. We know it's done. I understand the apprehension and wanting to delay that to make sure it's a good box office, but 6 months seems a little far for me for, COVID concerns when you could just kind of monitor it month by month. Sending it 6 months out, that's a big big kick.
I think, is it dependent on when? Okay, wait. When are the dates again? Just go run it by me one more time.
Originally November 19th, now May 27th, 2022.
For Maverick.
For Maverick, correct. Mission Impossible 7 is leaving its May 27th release date to September 30th. So that's only, a 5 month?
They just don't want 2 Tom Cruise movies within 6 months of each other, it seems like.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like a 6-month delay of Maverick is a lot. Maybe just wait till January, see how the numbers are. Wait till February, see how the numbers are. Booting it all the way to May, that's just, I don't know, a little far for me.
What about Paramount Plus? We have the technology. Paramount, come on.
I don't think Tom Cruise wants his movies on Paramount Plus.
Stream. You know what? Anyone else, I would say that's crazy talk, but I think Tom Cruise has both the ego and the sheer just insanity to demand that Paramount Plus never releases movies on there, and they'll do it too.
He's got gypsy magic.
Not only that, but I'm willing to bet that the Scientology church has like some deal in with Paramount where they can't do it. They're like lobbying them not to.
Watch what you say. We're gonna get canceled here. We're really skirting the edge here.
We are now looking for a new host of the show. If you're interested, please send in your application. So yeah, I mean 2 delays there, and then Jackass Forever has also moved from February 4th, 2022 to October 22nd.
Damn.
Or sorry, you know what? Never mind, that's backwards. October 22nd of this year to February 4th. It was backwards in the story, my bad. So that was only a 4-month delay.
It still sucks. But I'm tired of seeing that trailer, even
sucks.
though I laugh at it every time, but I really want to watch that movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen the original ones, but I know of them. I know kind of why they're so. I don't even know what would be a good word for it. Not like
iconic.
Acclaimed. Yeah, iconic is a good word for them. So I'd be down to go see that, or at least put it on sometime.
Well, I might have a movie for you on my what I watched this week. Bit of
sizzle. Yeah, and then in addition to that, also mentioned in the stories is Ghostbusters Afterlife has also pushed their date only like a week. So from November 11th to November 19th, they basically took the Top Gun spot.
My buddy Joe, shout out Joe, sent me a photo of a No Time to Die poster that said April 2020 on it, like yesterday. Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even know
if that was its first release date, to be honest with you.
I saw the No Time to Die trailer before Shang-Chi, and I was wondering this: how much do you think they're going to make money on this movie anymore? But because of how much they've spent on advertising and marketing.
No, they won't.
They've launched 3 or 4 marketing campaigns at this point.
Right. They won't make money on it. They will lose money, but at least they won't lose double money if they just like never release it. You know.
Yeah.
They have to at this point.
Yeah, they have to at least cut their losses.
Right. Try and dig themselves out of as much of the hole as they can. But yeah, they're screwed on that one.
Yeah, they are so screwed, which sucks. But I also I'm not like super interested in going to see that movie anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we keep talking about these things getting delayed, and it annoys me because it feels like then you're at the mercy of what they're going to do on the market. So we're no longer making movies because we have a cool idea where like it feels like we're going to be playing catch up to like what the last year's things were for the next 2 or 3 years. Now we're almost a year behind schedule wise, and it's just I don't know, it just feels super businessy.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, Sony's going the other route with their release schedule. Venom: Let There Be Carnage is moving up 2 weeks from.
That's what I like to see,
October
Sony.
15th to October 1st. They're doubling down. They are not scared.
They're saying get in there. Maybe the Delta variant will give you some sort of symbiote relationship. Who knows? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe Venom is what cures us.
That'd be wild.
How would that be?
Yeah, that'd be a little backwards.
There's just some space goop that comes down, and we're just like immune to disease after that.
Do you think symbiotes are immune to COVID-19? They got to be.
They don't have lungs. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Email us in, listeners. Tell us if you think symbiotes are immune to COVID-19 and give us your reasoning.
I'm sure Waz will write in and let us know.
I think so. I think he's got us an email this week too. Maybe. Bit of sizzle.
I did not see one.
Okay, never mind.
I'll double check and make sure, but I did not see one. But yeah, that's getting pushed up 2 weeks following the promising box office numbers from Shang-Chi. Not really showing. Maybe people are scared of COVID. Maybe they're down for a superhero movie. Who knows?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I finished.
No, I was done. You're good.
Okay, before we move on to there, I have to say we watched the Venom trailer here at home on the TV, and I was kind of like meh. And I've seen it twice now in the Dolby Theater, and I get a little bit more interested in it every time I see it. I think it looks good on a big screen.
Oh,
okay.
You have my interest, Nathaniel, by that statement. I mean, it's been great going back to the theaters. I forgot how good movie theaters are.
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure.
Yeah, it's been great going back. But I was about to transition, and then I kind of just lost it. We'll just move on to the next news story here. Jordan Peele's Monkeypaw Productions moves overall TV deal to Universal. So his production company, which originally had a deal with, I believe it was Amazon.
Okay.
Yes, Amazon. They had a deal there. They have since moved that deal to Universal Pictures to develop their TV projects over there instead of Amazon.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this isn't really attached necessarily to any of the movies he's doing, although I'm pretty sure he's tied to Universal for his movies, but this is going to be separate from that. So far, that production company has done Lovecraft Country for HBO, the Twilight Zone reboot that came to Paramount Plus, and then The Last OG on TBS, and Hunters on Amazon. Those have been the things from Monkeypaw.
Does anybody watch any of those?
I have not, but I was actually recently thinking about that Twilight Zone reboot and how I never saw it, but kind of wanted to. But I'd never heard anything about it or any like hype around it.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things about the Twilight Zone reboot, but Yeah. I mean, it's Twilight Zone. It's hit or miss anyways. So what could hit for one person could absolutely not for someone else. I wanted to kind of check out Hunters. That was the one about like the Nazi hunters in the 70s, I want to say, or something like that. I can't remember. And then what was the other two that you said? Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country.
I heard that's good.
Yeah, Waz watched that. He liked that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The Last OG on TBS.
That's the one with the gentleman that used to be on 30 Rock that got hit by the bus in that horrible accident. Tracy Morgan?
Oh man.
Is that his name? Tracy Morgan?
Tracy Morgan. I think that's right. Yeah. I can picture him. I'm pretty sure that's his name
Tracy
too.
Morgan is the name.
Okay, yeah. That's a TBS show, I think.
Yes, it is. And then it's Amazon's Hunters. Just Hunters, not Amazon Hunters. Hunters on Amazon.
That's the Nazi hunter one.
Yeah, just to clarify.
Fight Club, Nightclub. Fight Night.
And then I guess Monkeypaw also has rights to the Key and Peele show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's all heading towards Universal. We'll see maybe where they dish out those IP deals for those shows and then what they kind of end up creating going forward. But we said it on the show before, and I'll say it again. We're all pretty much, I'd say all four of us are Jordan Peele stans. So I'm down for whatever he's doing.
I thought you were going to say you love being a turtle.
Why would I say that?
Ninja Turtles. In the real, like the early 90s realistic movies, at the end of the movies, they basically all just like put their hands in the middle and they're like, I've said it once, I'll say it again.
I love being a turtle.
Oh, that does sound familiar. I've seen those movies, but not since I was a kid. Good movies. I feel like they got
they're probably pretty, but I fucking love them.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. Well, for our last news story of the day, a little bit of a sadder one. Michael K. Williams, star of The Wire and Boardwalk Empire, found dead at 54.
A bit of a sadder one.
Quite a turn.
Yeah, that was that was sad news. I caught that Monday, and then Nathaniel sent that message to the group chat too, where I was actually at that family barbecue. Then I went and talked to my dad about it. And my dad was like, "What? No way!" You know. So yeah, that was sad news, man. Definitely.
Well, because The Wire is that's a big one for him.
Yeah, it's his favorite show.
Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace. That's tough.
Yeah, that was a brutal one for most people, I think, that have seen his work and anything that he's been involved in. He was very, very good. And there's another one, just like too, I feel like we had just talked about like the 1 year anniversary of Chadwick Boseman's death, and that just felt so real, and it was that same kind of just like, oh no, feeling in the pit of your stomach when he found out he had passed, and just rest in peace, obviously.
Yeah, I told you guys in the group chat, I really don't have a huge reference for him. I know who he is. I've heard his name. I've seen him before, but I haven't really seen much of anything he's been in. But a loss is a loss regardless. It sucks, and especially the fact that he's only 54. Like, that's still pretty young. So it's really sad to see him go that young.
Yeah, I knew him. I haven't seen The Wire yet, which now it feels like I'm going to have to go see it, immediately. But I knew him from Boardwalk Empire, actually, and he was really, really great in that as well. And then he actually also showed up in Community for a while, too. It was really awesome.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay. I don't remember him from that, but that's probably the only place I've actually seen him.
He plays the biology teacher in one season that's recently been released from prison. And
okay, that does sound familiar.
Yeah, he's great. He often played tough guys. Had a really great range.
Really great actor for sure. And I don't know if you mentioned, but he's also in Lovecraft Country. I know we kind of brought that up briefly with Monkeypaw Productions. I know he's got a few roles in there. But I was kind of doing some research. I think he actually has a brief role in The Sopranos as well.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. Also an HBO show.
Yeah, but I've yet to watch that show too. So but yeah, I just kind of after that, just went on YouTube, and you can type in Michael K. Williams Omar from The Wire, and you can get like a 40-minute YouTube clip of just all his Omar scenes, and yeah, they're top notch.
Yeah, never fun. Never fun news story to cover here.
Yeah. On another sad note, really quick before we get off Michael K. Williams, today is also the 3-year anniversary of Mac Miller.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
I was bumping Mac Miller on my way to class today.
Yeah, for sure. I had to play some Mac Miller today as well.
Yeah, that one was another one that really hurt.
Yeah.
Talk about young, goddamn.
September 7th, not a good day.
No, no, it is not. All right. Well, that's going to be it for the news. No trailer talk this week, although we did get a teaser trailer for a potential Matrix teaser trailer. I shouldn't even say potential. It's going to be a trailer. I don't know if it's going to be a teaser trailer or a trailer, but nice little red and blue pill teaser was released to the Matrix Resurrections Twitter account. I think it's called Resurrections, right?
Yeah, that's the official name.
Yeah. And they announced we're going to get that. Oof, let me see. I don't remember. They said it was when the trailer was going to come out, but I don't remember.
I think it was late this year, early next year at the something.
It's
like that.
Thursday.
Oh,
sorry,
I was thinking of the movie.
The trailer, not the movie.
Gotcha, yeah.
The trailer's coming out this Thursday at 6
Okay.
p.m. PT, so that'll be 7. That'll be 8 p.m. Central.
For those of you in those two time zones, congratulations.
If you're not in those two time zones, just do the math.
Or if this is in the future and it's already been released. Hello.
How you doing? What kind of storm has hit your country this week?
Yeah, what natural disaster are you going
Natural
through?
disaster is plaguing humanity now.
Email in.
And send in your applications. Still applying. All right. Well, it's time for Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of September 5th through September 11th to Netflix. Blood Brothers, Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. This is a Netflix original documentary on the two icons and influential figures with rare archive footage. So I don't know necessarily how Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali tie in historically as far as like their activism goes, but looks like you'll get some, never before seen footage in a documentary style. So if you're interested in that, check that out on Netflix. We're also getting Pokemon Master Journey, the series. This is a Netflix exclusive new animation series in the Pokemon universe.
Oh, yeah.
I have been getting back into Pokemon Go, and it is a blast, and I recommend it. Also coming to Netflix, Untold Breaking Point. This is probably one of the more subjective picks I've had. Untold Breaking Point, sports documentary about the American tennis player Marty Fish. I think I've heard of Marty Fish, but I don't know anything about him. But tennis, I want more people to get into it, and maybe this is the drive to survive that I'm hoping for. I hold out hope.
There was a kind of really interesting article today in, I think it was The Atlantic, that was talking about how the kind of drive to survive push and evolution that's come around. And I think it was called like how Netflix created or caused Americans to care about the most European sport possible. And it was just kind of a deep dive into like how many people have a story similar to us. It's just we started watching it on Netflix and now we're all obsessed. So yeah, kind of an interesting article if anyone wants to go check that out.
Like I'm saying, man, that's all tennis needs. Needs a little adrenaline shot in the arm. Because it's really only the U.S. that it's like this not popular.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. To Amazon Prime, we're getting Cinderella. This is an Amazon original iteration of Cinderella. I haven't really seen anything on it. I don't know who's in it. Maybe I can look
Is this
up
the
right
one
now.
with Camila Cabello or whatever that caused?
Is it?
They did that traffic jam in L.A. to promote it, and everyone hated it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I'm seeing Camila Cabello, Nicholas Galitzine, Billy Porter, Idina Menzel, and James Corden. Yeah, I remember seeing that on Twitter.
Yeah, they tried to do like a flash mob, and people were not happy.
Yeah. That's it for Amazon Prime. Hulu is getting La La Land, which I feel like was just on the new streaming list 2 weeks ago somewhere else, or maybe even Hulu, but it's back, I guess. That's it for Hulu. HBO Max is getting Mad Max Fury Road. One that bit of sizzle I do not love, and I know you guys hate me for that. But I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters.
True.
So maybe I should rewatch it. But I remember just like knowing everyone loved that movie and just coming out of theater like underwhelmed.
I saw it twice in one day.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
The first time I saw it.
We know where you stand.
Well, let's go though. We'll be on opposite ends.
Yeah. Bit of sizzle, finally.
Bit of sizzle.
Bit of some actual sizzle. Also coming to HBO Max, the Mortal Kombat movie from this year.
It's
coming
back.
So you can stream that for free. Check it out and then check out a review of it. I don't remember what episode that is, but we did a review and decent reviews. I think we all liked it to an extent.
I think so too.
Yeah. And then the last thing coming to HBO Max is Malignant. This is the new James Wan horror flick that's coming out. And Bit of Sizzle will be our review for next week. Just because we can't get enough horror on the entry list, apparently.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Yeah, I guess it does have a lot of horror on there right now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
I wonder why. Can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Well, it's also coming to theaters, but if you want to just sit at home, you can do so by booting up HBO Max. I believe that's coming this Friday.
Just as a heads up, too, I'm excited for this movie.
Are you?
I'm more excited for this movie than Candyman. Granted, I didn't know that it was coming out until about maybe like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But just the fact that it's got James Wan stamp on it, dude, like this is going to be...
I saw the trailers. I can't remember. It might have been before Candyman, and like I didn't love the look of it from the trailers. I'm going in on a little bit of blind faith here.
Yeah,
because I feel like with Wan, you always get like the second half reveals, and I'm thinking it may get me there. We hope so.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm kind of with you, Nathaniel, where like I'm looking at these trailers and it's like this does not look like a horror movie I'd want to go see based off the trailers. But because it's James Wan, I definitely want to go see it.
And is this one on HBO Max as well, or is this in theaters only?
Yeah, that's why
it's on HBO Max as well.
God, I'm an idiot. Why do I even ask that? Yeah. I think because Shang-Chi was theaters only this week, it really threw me off on this, and then I just wasn't paying attention there.
No, HBO Max is sticking to their word of every picture coming to HBO Max and theaters at the same time.
So we'll see. I'll try to go to theaters, but even to your guys' point that the trailer is kind of iffy, it's hard for me to kind of tell. It looks like it has some
seems to be a lot of CGI.
It does. It does.
It's very dark too,
but
like visually.
I'm putting my faith in James Wan.
I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah, he's earned it.
He's earned it. Yeah. Well, that's it for HBO Max. To Disney Plus, we're getting Marvel's What If Episode 5 and Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Which one is that, Nathaniel?
4, I want to say.
Okay.
5?
No, 5 is Dead Man Tell No Tales or something. Dead Man's Chest. No, that's the second one.
I can look it up.
They're all dead. What is
I don't know if I've told you guys this on pod, or maybe I've told you guys in real life, but I've never seen a single Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it is Dead Man Tell No Tales. That was the most recent one. And then Dead Man's Chest is the second one. Stranger Tides is the fourth. And yeah.
Nathaniel, are you going to take malice to Blake for not having seen Pirates of the Caribbean? I think you're probably the biggest fan of those here.
I do love Pirates of the Caribbean. If Blake had told me that 5 years ago, I think I probably would have had a bigger issue with it. But after the last two, I think it's allowed.
Okay.
And
what are there for?
There's five, yeah. They're fun, man. Like that was one of those romp franchises, as I was referring to earlier, for a while there. The first one's still great. I think it still holds up. Tyler, didn't you just recently revisit some of them too?
I don't know if it was soon or recently. I don't remember quite when, but it's probably earlier or sooner than what you guys have watched.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of them in a long, long time.
I know I watched at least the first one last year, and it still holds up really, really well.
Yeah, I like the first one. I don't mind them all.
Right?
Are pirates criminals?
I would say pirates would be criminals, yes. As I confirmed
perspective
earlier in the pod.
All right, well, that's it for the new to streaming list. We can kick off what we're watching with Nathaniel's review of What If, as long as Tyler have been keeping up.
I was gonna say I'm up to date. Tyler, did you watch this week?
I did not.
Ooh, I still have not watched any. I will definitely get to them before the season ends. But
see, you say that, but I don't know if I believe you anymore.
All right, well, now I have to go watch before next week's episode.
This one was probably my new favorite. I
really?
think, yeah, okay. I think for me this one was really cool. It's the what if hinge point this week is what if Doctor Strange, when he was in his car crash, instead of being by himself and his hands kind of going through the dashboard and getting all crunched up, Christine, who is Rachel McAdams' character from Doctor Strange, was with him in the car and was instead killed. And then how would his kind of path be different, and what would that kind of set up, and what would that look like? And it basically means you end up with a evil Doctor Strange and a good Doctor Strange battling it out. It's pretty sick. But yeah, I just thought it was a really good episode, and had a lot of really good voice animation. A lot of really good animation. The voice acting, I think, too, was also really good this week. Benedict Cumberbatch is actually a really good voice actor as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go too much further without trying to go into spoilers for you guys, since no one else has seen it. But big recommend for me, I would say.
How much of Jeffrey Wright is there in What If?
He's in every episode, and I mean, he is the kind of like the narrator, so you at least get him at the start and at the end.
Okay. I just didn't know if he was like cutting in to like narrate over the story as events unfold.
In certain points, it just depends. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, what else have you been watching then, Nathaniel?
I'll kick off the rest of what we've been watching too. What I've been watching. Yeah, hold on, let me grab my list. Ted Lasso, been keeping up with. You guys anyone been keeping up with that? No, Tyler, Adam?
Bit of sizzle. I am 100% caught up.
Woo! Tyler is not, so we won't go into too much. How are you feeling about this season, sir?
I think I actually brought up last week about episodes 1 through 6. We talked about it, but
yes, you did.
Love this season.
Okay.
Yeah, love this season. It's basically just, continuation and adds on to the first season, which is all they needed to do. Same, witty banter, same one-liners. They're doing interesting things with all the characters. So I'm 100% on board. I'm really liking it. This latest episode was good. Not great, but also some interesting character developments happening as well. Don't want to say too much more about that, but yeah, still loving it. Ted Lasso's fantastic. So that's kind of where I land on that. I don't know if you have any more thoughts.
Just that as we get closer to the college football season kicking off, or college football season did kick off, but also professional football season kicking off, I found myself just getting mad that Ted Lasso's not a real person, because I think I would watch every single one of his press conferences.
Oh, 100%. That's one of my favorite parts of the show, is how he answers those questions. It's hilarious every time.
But yeah, other than that, what else have we been getting into? We finished what was available of Haikyuu on Netflix, so that is all done and dusted. I've been watching a lot of Adventure Time. I think I've talked a little bit about that on the podcast so far, but now I think we're like 3 seasons in so far, so we've been putting in some work with that. I have no idea. I just go until the show ends. I think maybe 9, 8, 9, somewhere in there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But they're 10-minute episodes too, so even then you burn through them pretty quick. But yeah, that's a really fun show. It's got a lot more kind of, I guess, heart than I thought it did. I didn't really watch it at all growing up or anything like that. I just knew a lot of people did like it, but it's fun. Kind of a nice.
Your favorite?
I actually really like Lady Rainicorn. I think she's really awesome. And then Marceline.
Sure.
As well. But yeah, they're all fun. What about you? I know you were big into it for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was for a while. Jake is easily up there for me.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Making banana pancakes is something that'll just live forever in my head. I don't. There's a lot of likable characters on there. Marceline is really, really good. Who is, man? I can't think of that little butterscotch guy.
I don't know. It's Peppermint
I'll have to
Butler.
look at. He's part of the Candy Kingdom, but he's like this little old like butterscotch like groundskeeper guy. And he's just always getting into like the most random shit.
I don't know if I've met him yet, but that's the other thing too, is there's random characters that come in and out and show up a lot, and yeah, it's fun. And it's like, it's weirdly, it sometimes goes into like that Ted Lasso territory too, of just like relentless positivity being kind of like your way out of things, or you know always look on the bright side kind of stuff. So there's a nice little catharsis there too, I think, sometimes.
Absolutely.
I got some more Louis Theroux episodes this week, or documentary kind of sessions, if you want to call it that. So what were the ones that I watched? I know one of them was one of them was about he was with a group of men that had been that were college students that had been accused of sexual assault on campus, and was kind of following them around and kind of seeing what that was like on their side of things. And kind of, that was good because he definitely got into it with some of them. I thought that was interesting. Another one was a group of people that had applied to, they'd all had terminal illnesses diagnosis. And so they had applied to get the medicine that you can get to actually kind of end your life under a couple of the different bills and laws that are out on like the West Coast. So he was spending some time with a couple of those folks as well. And then there was another one too. Oh yeah, he was in another one up in Portland with people that were in open relationships. So Louis Theroux, if any of the listeners don't know, he's a really great documentarian, in my opinion. He kind of goes around and talks to folks that are experiencing hot button issues, or kind of a part of that world. I think he always has a really good way of interviewing people and kind of asking questions that are both hard hitting, but not necessarily, in any way malicious or anything like that. He's got a big series on HBO Max that you can watch now. And I think he's done like 40 documentaries or something like that. So, yeah, that was really cool. What else did I get to? I think the last two were two movies. One I'm sure will be familiar to Blake. That is Final Destination.
The
OG?
Yeah, the first one, the original. We were sitting at home the other day, and I was just sitting here kind of scrolling through. I think it's on HBO Max right now, I want to say.
You're right, yeah.
And it was just on there, and I just kind of went, I kind of want to watch Final Destination right now. Which, hindsight being 2020, maybe not a good decision since I'm flying out this week. But yeah, it's just funny. That movie is just...
It's good.
So tame by today's standards too, and just so it's very of its time too, that kind of post Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer world, but also right before kind of like the Saws and all of that kind of started taking over, where there's just kind of this weird mix of turn of the century beliefs. Great to see Tony Todd again. He's been kind of popping up. I think this is the third week in a row that we've watched something with him in it, or I've watched something with him in it. So yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, they go to like a factory or something, right? Like, isn't he's
like,
a coroner? Works like around fires or something.
He's the coroner. He's
okay.
He's the one that's preparing all the bodies.
That's what I knew it was something. They go somewhere. I can see his face in the room.
Yeah.
Tony Todd's in that.
Yeah, so he shows up in the other ones as well. But yeah, I might go through them right now. Final Destination holds kind of a special place in my heart. It's kind of one of those goofy franchises.
Definitely. Have you seen any of those, Adam?
I've not.
Really? I guess that's also not surprising though. Not at all. I'm sure Ty's seen most
I know
of
them, but
Yeah, I've seen. I want to say all of them except for like the most recent one.
Right. Yeah.
Which is actually good.
With you on that.
The last one's good.
What's the last one? Is it 5 or 6?
Yeah, 5.
I don't know. I'd have to go back. And
if you can go in,
they kind of merge to me.
If you can go into 5 blind, I do recommend it.
Okay, I'm gonna double check, see if I got to that one.
It's the one that starts with the bridge. You would know it if you'd seen it.
Yeah, okay, I have it.
See, there you go.
It comes full. Yeah, I got you.
And so the last thing I got to this week, and where I was kind of tying in with you earlier, Adam, is I watched a documentary on Hulu called Dumb. And it is the story of the kind of group of guys who started a skate magazine called Big Brother, which is where the Jackass guys basically got their start. From earlier. So it was like people originally, it started out as people filming skateboarding tricks, and then it kind of becomes this the guys that directed Jackass, Jeff Tremaine, Spike Jonze, they were all working at this magazine at the time as like a contributor, or I think Jeff Tremaine was like the director of it, or the main editor, and it was just balls to the wall insane, and it all just kind of collected the various personalities in Jackass throughout the years, and then it kind of tells a story of how that happened and what that was like, and some of the trials and tribulations they went through, and how it kind of ended as well too. So that was kind of an interesting one. Definitely, I think worth checking out as well. Especially, I think with the new Jackass film coming out, and how that series has kind of aged, and you get to see kind of how there was always really kind of creative people at the heart of it and stuff. So yeah, it was interesting.
Cool.
But what's up?
Would you recommend that?
Yeah, I would. It's if you've seen Jackass or anything like that, you kind of know what you're in for. It is definitely in that same vein. Definitely R-rated. But
okay.
Yeah, definitely I think worth checking out, just to kind of like understanding that kind of weird skate culture too from that time period, and kind of what that looked like and how those guys really were. But yeah, that was what I've been watching recently. I'll kick it over to Tyler. What you been watching?
Oh, hey guys. Mine is like super long. Obviously, I was gone for the last like 4 days, so don't do a whole lot of TV watching when you're down at the cabin. So
that would make sense.
I did have my phone handy, so one of the big things that I watched was a little bit more YouTube. For those of you who don't know, Tim the Tap Man, who just switched over from Twitch to YouTube. So that's a big person for me as far as how many things I consume on a daily basis, and having him on YouTube is I can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing for my productivity. So
do you like that he went to YouTube? Like,
I do. I think it's a really big move for him. I think right now Twitch is a little bit of a smaller pond for him, and he's trying to swim a little bit bigger, and I think that YouTube is a much bigger platform for him to be able to grow on. So now I think he's a big fish in a really big pond. So also got to a Netflix series called Rust Valley Restoration. That is about cars. It's actually filmed up in Canada. They essentially, this guy basically has a ton of cars that he's been sitting on for decades, and basically he's trying to start a business out of it now instead of a hobby. And him and his son basically go out of the backyard, pick out a car, and then restore it and sell it for money. So his dad's got like dreads. He's a really weird dude, but overall, still a pretty good show to have, just kind of on the background. I did get to one movie this week, Chappie, which is a fun one for me. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Pretty sure Nathaniel has. You haven't seen Chappie? Have we talked about this?
We have. It's one that I have regrettably missed. We always talked about watching it when we lived together last year, but I think it was just one that slipped through the cracks, unfortunately.
Have you seen that, Adam?
I've not, but it's one that I've wanted to see.
God.
But when it came out, I heard like very mixed things.
I know it's one you're close to, right, Tyler?
Yeah. Blake, you seen Chappie?
You're kind of cutting in and out, Blake. I think that was I have not.
No, I haven't. Can you hear me or?
You're very, very robotic.
Well, maybe that needs to be your birthday requirement one for this year, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean that is coming up here pretty soon. So, the big 3-1.
The big 3-1.
So yeah, that's.
Burnham will make another song.
Yeah, dude, Chappie's a good one for me. I think it's a really good just overall film in my opinion. So, and it's Nick Blomkamp and
Neil.
oh yeah, sorry, and he's done a lot of good things that I rather appreciate. So,
we've got District 9 on the entropy list.
we do indeed, which I think this is better than. So
really,
just a little bit of sizzle.
That is a bit of sizzle considering how much I heard mixed things about Chappie and fairly universal, maybe not necessarily praise, but like approval of District 9.
Also got to F1. Obviously, there was a race this weekend.
I saw that as well.
Yeah,
and a lot of
or whatever it was, however you pronounce it.
A lot of movement too on and off the grid. So first of all, congrats Max Verstappen on the win. Let's go, baby.
Max,
yeah, dude.
no stapping.
We got George Russell moving to Mercedes, which is a big move. And Valtteri Bottas going to Alfa Romeo. So that's pretty cool too. So I'm excited to see what both of them can do there in their respective places. I'm also excited to see what Williams does because they are currently driverless for 2022.
It is true.
So I'll be excited to see if there's any other movement or if they start bringing in people from off the bench or if they start bringing in people from F2. So we shall see. Yeah. And then, my last thing is while I was eating dinner this evening, Leah and I wanted to start something, and we got on the first episode of Manifest, which is a Netflix original.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't that start on the CW?
I think it was NBC.
No. NBC, yeah. I think I think it's since been picked up by Netflix. And
that makes sense.
There. I'm pretty sure it started on TV. Yeah. NBC sounds right.
It's like people on an airplane go missing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially they go through a blip. Yeah. So they're gone. It's funny too because they're gone for 5 years. So as soon as I heard that, I looked at Leah and I was like, they went through a blip. So
Avengers copied it.
Just one?
Just one. Yeah, just the one.
Did you finish Chernobyl?
We have not.
Oh.
So it is on the docket,
Manifest without finishing Chernobyl.
Yeah, we were going to watch it, and then Leah has a lot of studying to do, and obviously we had this going on. So Chernobyl's a little bit of a longer episode, so we decided to go with Manifest instead. Also, I'll bring this up now because I totally didn't really think about it until just now. We were sitting down, and we were getting ready to watch something, and we just really didn't know what to put on. We kept scrolling on Netflix, and Netflix has like a shuffle option now. They're let us choose.
Yeah, I've heard it works, but like it really prioritizes the brand new things on Netflix. So which makes sense if like you found Manifest through it and you were like, yeah, it's a Netflix series or something like that.
Yeah. So anything that's new, or I guess more or less their promotion, which I don't know, because if it's a new feature, it hasn't really picked up your algorithm yet, but you would think because it says suggested stuff already that it would suggest things that's more likely for you to watch, but who knows?
Yeah.
So, but that's all I got. Blake?
I'll keep brief, fellas. To go
all right, I'm gonna stop you right there, Blake. You are Mr. Roboto, where we cannot continue. Why don't we pause here again real quick? All right.
Carry on.
Tell us, Blake.
We're back. What's up, Blake? What were you watching?
Yeah, dude, I didn't watch anything this week, man. I had a crazy busy week, so I literally have zero on the plate. Watched some YouTube stuff, but nothing crazy. A lot of that was just kind of
Bee and Wasp stuff.
No, man. I said I wanted to get to that, and I had a recommendation pop up. Oddly enough, in the simulation, but I didn't watch it. So maybe I'll see if I can refine that video and get to it. But yeah, I didn't watch any shows, didn't watch any movies. Only thing I got to was that Shang-Chi. So I'll pass it over to Adam to wrap it up, and we'll keep it moving.
Yeah, I have a short list. How I Met Your Mother. Have finished season 7 and 8. Finally on the final season. 7 and 8. I've been trying to consider or like evaluate them and how I feel. I think I'm officially like they're bad seasons, like below average, I would say.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah, they just they ran out of things. They ran out of ideas. It got really repetitive. It just way too out there for me. But I've been loving season 9. They all kind of came back, and it's a unique storytelling format where it's over those 3 days of the wedding, and they're kind of going back and forth between characters because they're in different locations, and then going back and telling stories over the past few seasons, and all the jokes are lining up. So I've been liking that. Can't wait to finish this last season and then move on to something else. But we're in the home stretch here. And then I guess I got 2 more. Watched The Birds for my film history class.
Wow, a little Hitchcock.
Oh, like the
Hitchcock
old,
classic.
like what's that, like the 60s or something?
I think it's 63.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that's one I've seen before because it's one of my mom's favorite movies, but also like least favorite movies because she thinks it's horrifying. But
Really?
yeah, she loves that movie, but also is like very scared of birds. No, I don't know if she's scared of birds, but like because of that movie, basically, she finds it very scary. But it's a great one. Hitchcock, of course. Not much more to say on that. I mean, he's Hitchcock.
He's a master.
One of the OG auteurs. But that was good. It was fun to go revisit that, and kind of we learned a little bit more about him and his film style and his film history, and so I was able to look out for a few more things that I didn't know beforehand about how he tried to make films and stuff. So it was nice to kind of view it with that perspective. And then the last thing I kind of got to, I say kinda because I woke up at 7 a.m. to watch the F1 race. I was successful in staying awake for the first lap, fell back asleep, and I woke up when Max Verstappen was stepping out of his car as he had just won the race. So I was very disappointed, but I had a long day the day before, Saturday, and so I was surprised I even woke up for the race and wasn't shocked that I fell back asleep. So I've yet to watch a full F1 race, but we'll get there eventually. We have some more coming up that I'll hopefully be able to stay awake for, and it doesn't get rained out.
Shout out Pierre Gasly, strong P4.
Yeah. Still don't know who I'm officially rooting for. I'm leaning towards Lewis Hamilton. My only hesitation is that he's the greatest of all time, and I don't want to just be that bandwagon guy, but I also just think he's awesome, and he's got so much swag. I love him. But I like the Red Bull team too. So honestly, my two favorite teams from watching Drive to Survive are Mercedes and Red Bull. I think they both have fun things to enjoy about both of them. So it's just I gotta decide. Maybe I'm joining Ty and rooting for probably root for Perez more than Verstappen. But
Checo.
Yeah.
Last place Checo can't start unless he's in last place and then makes up 18 spots.
I was gonna say he had a good race too.
He had a great race. Shouldn't have been in the last.
But we'll get an F1 race in one of these days. All right, well, I think that's it for what we're watching here. We're going to go ahead and move on to the main review segment here. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give a rundown here of our review segment?
Hey, what up? Hey, if you forgot, or if you're new, welcome. The way things work here at Back Row Banter in our main review segment is it is split up into 2 different sections. There is the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. Pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we will go over the movie itself, some of its IMDb page stuff. Year it came out, director, big cast and crew, a little summary, and then we'll give our initial thoughts. And at the end of the segment, we're all going to have to decide, will we recommend this movie, yes or no? Has to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, it's going to be the spoiler section. I will play this sound. and everyone will know that it is spoiler time. If you don't want to have it spoiled for you, don't worry. I'll play the sound again later, and you can come back and hear the rest of the episode. But if you do hear this sound and you don't mind because you've seen the movie already, stick around. In the spoiler section, we're going to go into any big spoilers, give into our deeper thoughts about the movie itself, kind of any big hits or misses for us. And then we're going to welcome everyone back to the Entropy list, which is our big list of everything that we've watched on the podcast, ranked. Adam, tell me about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I was going to correct you if you forgot that little after blurred.
But I didn't.
But he didn't. This is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Marvel movie number 2 on the Entropy list, the second one to be released in theaters this year. PG-13 rating, 2 hours and 12 minutes of a runtime, directed by Daniel Cretton, who I haven't heard of really and seen anything he's done, but I know of what he's done. He did Just Mercy in 2019. That's it was Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx. I think it was that like courtroom thriller. And then he also did The Glass Castle and Short Term 12, which both have some pretty notable actors in them, but I just haven't seen anything he's done. So he's been around a little bit. He's got quite a few credits. So and I think he did a good job here. Written by Daniel Cretton, along with Dave Callahan, who has actually done a lot. In fact, he did, let me see if I can pull up his IMDb. I thought I had it up. He did Wonder Woman 84. He did Zombieland Double Tap, The Expendables 3, the 2014 Godzilla, and Mortal Kombat from this year. So he's actually done a lot. He's actually got at least 1 credit or 2 credits on here for the Entropy list. So maybe not a name you'd recognize, but you've probably seen something he's done. And then the third screenwriter, Andrew Lanham, has just basically co-written Destin Cretton's other movies with him. The cast is Simu Lee, I don't know how to pronounce that, but he is Shang-Chi or Sean, whichever one. And then he's joined by Awkwafina, who I'm sure many people know. She's gotten quite famous in the past few years for her comedic roles. And then Tony Chu Wei Long, who is probably the most experienced and storied actor of the cast. He's got quite a few credits, has been around for a while. I personally didn't really recognize many of the movies he's been in. I don't know, Nathaniel, if you have more of a reference for him.
He's kind of like the Hong Kong version of your Daniel Day-Lewis or your Meryl Streep. Okay. If you want to like look in terms of like stature, like picture one of those two just showing up in a Marvel movie. And that's kind of what you were in. He was in Internal Affairs, which is the basis for, or was the original The Departed. Okay. And then he was in quite a few of, the name is escaping me right now. There's a very famous director that he works with quite often as well. But yeah, he's a big deal.
Yeah. His earliest acting credit is 1978 in Game of Death.
Wong Kar-wai, that is the director that I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he's been around for a while, been in a lot, and obviously, as you can tell by Nathaniel's little description there, quite a storied actor. The rest of the cast were nobody I really recognized. Mengair Zhang is the sister, and then there's a few more, I would say, less notable characters that are present.
This is her movie debut, The Sister.
Yes, it is.
Listeners, if you're listening to that, I just got cut off.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, just making sure we're good. The IMDb summary reads as follows. Shang-Chi, the master of unarmed, weaponry-based kung fu, is forced to confront his past after being drawn into the Ten Rings organization. That is just, I feel like, incorrect.
Yeah, it's pretty bare bones.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long movie. A lot happens in it, but I don't think he's necessarily drawn into the Ten Rings organization. Well, we'll give you here a little bit of a non-spoiler rundown of what actually goes on. Shang-Chi, a.k.a. Sean, is living his great American life as a valet at a hotel, and he and his friend, but played by Aquafina, encounter some assassins that are from the Ten Rings organization, and that opens up a bit of a can of worms about his past that he's been hiding from his best friend. And they kind of have to go on an adventure to protect his sister and eventually his I guess you could say ancestral grounds.
Yeah, I'll go with
put
that.
It in a
Sure.
not too revealing way. I don't want to say too much more than that because a lot happens in this movie, and there's a lot of plot points that I don't want to say in fear of spoilers or anything like that. But he's I don't know. It's an origin film.
Shit goes down.
Origin film. It's a kung fu movie, and I'll just say it. It's awesome. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. Really, really fun. Probably one of the better origin movies in the MCU, in my opinion, and if not, one of the better just regular MCU movies. But definitely the best origin movie we've seen in a while from them, if not the best, in my opinion. So I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but I was overall very, very positive.
Yeah, I'll follow up as I kind of went on record maybe a few weeks ago saying I wasn't the most overly excited for this film. But I mean, it's good, man. It's good. There's no way around it. I like it better than Black Widow. I would say that. Just kind of comparing it to Marvel, and I was pleasantly surprised. So, I kind of that's all I got to say. I don't have anything bad to say about it, and we'll detail further once we get to spoilers. But yeah, I'm a supporter of it, and I'd recommend.
Tyler? No, I said it first.
Yeah, I'm in. I knew this. I had pretty high expectations going in. Obviously, the Mandarin and the Ten Rings have a pretty big tie-in to the Iron Man stuff, so I know a little bit about this. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said, I had some pretty big expectations going in, and I think for the most part, they hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I had a ball with this one. I thought it was really, really fun. As everyone's kind of been talking about a little bit as we've been going. Definitely a character that I wasn't as familiar with. This is probably the least familiar I've been with a character probably since some of the early Marvel Phase 1 stuff, I would think. But I just think it was great. They did a great job of separating his fighting style from the rest of the Marvel universes. You made it you totally believe him as the character himself. All the choices to the homages to the Hong Kong action flicks, the kung fu flicks of like the 70s, the Jackie Chan stunt school, all of that stuff is all in there. It's a romp of a movie. It's really, really a good time. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the action is probably the highlight for me. I mean, the fight choreography.
Yeah, this is the best since Winter Soldier, I would say.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would definitely agree with that. It just every single fight you are very invested. The action directing is also very good, and hats off to Destin Cretton, who makes everything very clear. You're never really confused about what's going on. Everything is very smooth and honestly almost flawless. Like there's not much I would say could be improved upon in these fight sequences. They are just really, really good. They draw you in, and they're pretty fun to watch too. All right, well, I think that's going to be a recommend all around.
Yes,
definitely a recommend for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into MCU, there's no reason not go watch this. So please do. But if you have not seen Shang-Chi and do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check the episode description where I will leave a timestamp you can jump to skip over the spoilers.
Shut it off.
Spoilers.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes a lot of different
Kung Fu style. Yeah, this movie goes like a lot of places, and it keeps the story keeps evolving, and I was just constantly. I don't know how I felt about that. That was something that bothered me a little. Is like the plot keeps changing on the fly a little bit, where they kind of start off and the dad's the bad guy, and that remains the whole time. But then it changes where they not only do they have to defeat him, but now they have to go defend this town, and then not only do they have to defend this town, then they have to go defeat this. Now there's a bigger threat in the demon angel thing. So it kept changing a little bit. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't maybe just one kind of steady through line of a plot, and that they kept just adding things. But at the same time, it was still fun, and everything made sense in how they were doing it. So it's not necessarily a notch on it, but it was something that I would notice. I was like, wow, this is just going a lot of different places, and I was kind of on board for it just because it was fun to watch the whole time. All the cast did a great job, and it was just a really fun movie.
Yeah, I think all of the choices in this movie seem very well thought out and very well or very purposeful. I'll put it that way. It's a 2 hour and 12-minute movie, but I didn't really feel at any part like this movie dragged too much or anything like that. I think, Adam, you hit a little bit of the nail on the head in my big kind of
gripe.
Gripe, I guess, if you want to say that, with the movie, in that I think the kind of second act it feels a little bit not fully baked. There's like it's almost like the dad character tells them, or it's revealed basically that he kind of set everything up so that the whole point was to get the two kids of Sean and his sister to the one location, and it just didn't feel like that didn't really work on it, and kind of like his reasoning felt a little weird, which you find out later is because he's being basically kind of tormented or whatever by that crazy monster behind the wall. But I think that was a little bit a drag, but for the most part, I think everything about this film feels very purposeful, very very thought out, and doesn't seem to be a lot of filler overall. But yeah, any other kind of deeper thoughts from you guys? Any kind of big standout moments that you had right off the bat, besides kind of like the action and everything that we've said?
I really like the way that they just overall did a good job with the action. At any point or any given point throughout the movie, I didn't really feel like I was like too like in on the CGI. Like I always thought it was used in the right places. I always thought it was used really well. Obviously the biggest piece that they probably used are when he's using the rings, obviously the monsters.
It also felt like the
giant
town
dragon.
of Ta Lo and the trees and everything. That was a lot of CGI too, but it wasn't like necessarily bad. But they did. I saw stuff on Twitter, and I don't completely agree with it, but these superhero movies have lost a lot of practical effects over the years, and I think
there's
that's a lot
so
of
much CGI in this.
There's
movie,
a lot,
man.
yeah, and it's been. One of the topics I keep getting recommended on Twitter is the Spider-Man stuff. Is just like this topic of Spider-Man, and a lot of people on that topic have just brought up constantly about how the original Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi ones, were so practical, and that's part of what makes them so good. And it brings up a good point. I mean, you do lose a lot of that, hardiness to it when it's just completely CGI. There's not a ton of practical stuff that you can kind of attach yourself to.
I would argue
this movie kind of exemplifies that.
I would argue the Raimi Spider-Man are kind of a weird example to go with for people, because those are practical to the point of artifice. I think he uses a lot the language of Sam Raimi is very, very tactile whenever he is directing, and a lot of times you are aware of how set-like his films are in a lot of ways, and that just even contrasts further with like the Homecomings of the world or anything like that, because in my opinion, like, the Marvel movies look like a much more livable universe than the Raimi universe. The Raimi universe of the Spider-Man movies is just like this weird world in which the hallways are all a little bit too narrow, and like you'll like pass by like a billboard and there'll be like notices on it, but like nothing's really written on them or anything like that. But yeah, sorry, I'm ranting. I'm on a tangent.
No, you're fine. No, that's a good point.
That's what we do.
But I thought overall this film looked pretty good. I thought the CGI wasn't too bad. I wish it was more colorful. Like I think this actually, the kind of that gray color gradient that goes on all the Marvel movies to make them all look a little bit more like they're in the same universe feels a little bit too much on this movie for me. I think it could have been a little bit more rich. But actually the movie this most reminds me of in terms of kind of tone as well as like relation to the rest of the Marvel universe is actually Black Panther. from the last few years, I think. And not just because of like it being a minority kind of hero or anything like that, or more of a diverse cast or anything, but like I'm talking about just like the world kind of is a little bit more separated in the way that like Wakanda is a hidden nation. This is is a town that is in like a pocket dimension almost, or anything like that. And then you are being introduced to like a completely different culture, a completely different set of rules that you adhere to. You also get like that Link character from the past, in this one being the Ben Kingsley in Black Panther.
Trevor.
Yeah, who's incredible in this.
I am so happy they brought him back. When they brought him, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because obviously I think we even maybe mentioned this on the podcast about how they kind of messed up a little bit by making the Mandarin the bad guy in Iron Man 3, but the fact that they just owned up to it and played that into this one was awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty big example of Marvel, how they're always kind of reacting back to the things that people have reacted to. But yeah, I mean, I'm in the camp that I love the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3. I think it's insane and bonkers, and I'm happy that they did it. But I also find it great that they can build into this as well. I thought he was awesome. Morris is also hilarious. But that you have that character in this, and then in Black Panther you have the what's his name? The Hobbit, and also in Sherlock. Watson from Sherlock. Martin Freeman?
Martin Freeman?
Yes. I almost said Martin Short.
Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman. Fight Night. Fight Club. But yeah, that's a couple of more of my thoughts on there. Actions, I think, a standout. Michelle Yeoh. We kind of glossed over her earlier. She's another big actress that's in this as well. She's great. I like whenever she's on screen. I think everyone in this movie is doing a really, really great job in terms of their acting. Tony Leung, like we've kind of talked about a little bit, just has incredible range. I think he does a great job of telling you how he's both this evil character and balances that with being a father. I think he does a great job with that and really gets you to buy into that, especially with kind of like all these little facial expressions and stuff. I always talk about like knowing what a character is thinking, and a lot of times you are very much knowing exactly what he is going through scene by scene as well.
Sure. One thing, I mean, you bring up the cast here, and I don't know if I'm alone. How do you guys feel about Awkwafina?
I think she's great. I saw her last in Crazy Rich Asians, I think. And I think in this particular role, she actually brings quite a bit of comedic relief, but still being able to build that friendship that she hasn't really been able to build with him because he's been hiding so many secrets. I really think that brings a part of realism into the character. It's a little bit more believable that he would try to have to find a way to hide all that. And I think that they build really well off each other throughout the entire film. So I actually really like her.
Yeah, I agree with Ty on that. I mean, the comedic relief she has is certainly needed. I think all Marvel movies kind of have that one character that they'll go to for those types of things, just to kind of ground the movie and just kind of make it more tolerable for all ages. So I don't really have any complaints with it.
Yeah, I've only seen her in The Farewell, which I think, I don't know.
She's also in Ocean's 8, Nathaniel, not to cut you off if you've seen that.
I have not seen that yet, actually. But I do own it, so I'm sure I'll watch it at some point.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, I saw Awkwafina in The Farewell, which was an A24 movie that came out, I think, 2 years ago. She's incredible in that, so that's the only thing I really knew her from. But I thought she was really good in this. As Blake said as well, she's got really good comedic timing. But yeah, I enjoyed her presence. Adam, I think from the way you phrased that question, it seemed like you're not sold as much on Awkwafina.
I just don't know. I had to ask that question because I don't know where I stand on her. I have no problem with her as an actress or as a person or anything like that. Just in this movie, there were times where I was like, oh, she's great. But there are also times where I just felt like maybe her delivery was a little bit off, or just something about the comedy was a little bit off. It just didn't always click for me. And I agree with Blake where he said that you need that comedic relief. And on paper, she is the perfect person for this. But for me, at some points, I was just like, she felt a little out of place for me. But at the same time, she didn't. It was really weird, kind of in between, back and forth on that. But overall, she did stand out a little bit. But I did think she did a good job at the same time. I landed in a weird spot on her. I think in this movie, she's
having to do a lot of the work in this one. In terms of that, because Shang-Chi is as a character, he's not as quippy as your Iron Man or your Thors are going to be. He's a little bit more Captain America in that way. So he needs kind of the comedic relief so that he can bring that out a little bit more. So I think that might be it too. Is that she's just kind of having to take more swings. Might be something that you're feeling a little bit there too.
It also might have been the fact, and you bring that up, and that reminded me of something that maybe it's just because she really is the only comedic relief in this movie.
Besides
in the other Marvel movies, you do sometimes have a back and forth, whether it be Falcon and the Winter Soldier or whatever it is. And she was like the only one cracking jokes. Maybe that was what was totally off for me. But there was something about her character, and maybe not even just her herself. Maybe it was just her character or the writing, whatever it is. There was something that just felt a little out of place for me. But I still overall enjoyed her and her character. But there was just something that wasn't clicking for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Favorite action sequences from this one?
I thought the opening bus fight was incredible.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite. Yeah, I was watching that in awe. I was like, wow, I think that's one of the best fight scenes we've had in the MCU period.
And I realized as he's kind of fighting the bigger gentleman with one arm, that's the same
Creed.
guy from Creed too.
Yeah, he's Drago's kid.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh my god, he looks so familiar, and I couldn't pinpoint it.
Yeah.
And then when there's a scene later on towards the third act of the movie, where they're kind of finding all like the monsters and the dragons, and so he gets a close up on his face when he asks, like, okay, like release them, we need their help. And I'm like, oh my god, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Once it went exactly on his face. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm happy that guy's getting more work. He was really good in that. But I was trying to think what else to.
Fist.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I think that goes with Taserface from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. What else was in there? Some big spots. I really liked that move they kept doing where like you would spin and then the camera would follow with it and then it was up and
you have like a down shot of the dad and then like an up shot of like the mom or the son, whoever it was, but they were like spinning around in a circle.
Yeah, I just like all of that stuff was just so incredible. And just
I think a lot of the slower fighting sequences where they're more like of a sparring session in a sense, you definitely get a feel for more of like the kung fu factor thing where it's supposed to be kind of like almost like a dance in some kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I was so impressed by the action directing and the action itself in this. And it's just like going into it, my mindset was like, well, how are they going to kind of pull this off? Because like everyone in the MCU movies is like a pretty good fighter, right? And they're all doing some sort of MMA or tactical fighting or anything like that. And I was like, how are we going to believe that this guy is going to be able to, kick anyone's ass? You believe it 100%. Like he totally sells it the entire time. And, I just hats off to him. I can't say anything else. I was really, really impressed with this whole thing. And, I'm back in on Marvel again. It's kind of like we say it all the time.
Yeah. This is,
go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, he's kind of like the Damian Wayne of the Marvel Universe. He's kind of raised by a group of assassins and everything like that, but he ends up obviously getting out and
that's a good call.
Not being a bag of a shit of a human being. Even though I really like Damian Wayne.
He's just always trying to murder people.
He really is. Go ahead, Adam.
I just think this is... Where does this land Marvel-wise for you guys? Because for me, it honestly might be a top 10. because
I like it a lot, man. Yeah, it's definitely in the S tier. As like if we did rankings, I would say for sure.
Also, Wong. So Wong might be my new favorite character in the MCU.
He's fantastic. Though that post-credit scene was phenomenal.
Oh, and that was another thing. Brie Larson has been in every Dustin Daniel Cretton movie. So her showing up in the post credits keeps that streak going.
Oh, that's cool. I definitely like this better than Captain Marvel, that's for sure. And I would say this is probably the best MCU movie since Endgame.
I hope they give this guy another one. Like, let him keep directing these things for as long as he wants to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, the action directing was phenomenal. Keep him with Shang-Chi for sure, but give him another one. Give him some other hero. Give him I don't know, maybe give him a WandaVision or a Wanda movie or something like that.
I hope this kind of allows Marvel to loosen up the reins a little bit and get a little bit more funky with a little bit of stuff, because this feels different than the rest of the others. That's kind of what I keep. I've been talking to a lot of people about this movie and everything, and they've said, how does it compare and everything, and it truly feels like Phase 1 Marvel to me, where it is each thing is distinct and has a little bit of its own flavor to it too, which I like. I think the MCU can do now. And
I think that's only going to be more true once Eternals comes out, because I think that will be even more different than we're used to.
Yeah, good point.
From what the trailers are showing. All right. Well, unless anyone else has any big closing thoughts here, I think we're going to jump on out of spoilers.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty good. I was going to say the only other thing I really wish they would have touched on more is the guy in the mask.
Oh yeah, I thought that too.
Who's like his dad's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they would have touched on that a little bit, but there's obviously some growth in this, so we'll see if maybe he comes back at some point.
Oh no, he gets his soul ripped out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's like the first one. They're just like, ink. Because I kept expecting him to like pull the mask off and have some sort of reveal or something like that, and it was just like, nope, soul sucked. You got demented.
The fucking Dementors from Harry Potter.
The dragon Dementors.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw all of the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Okay. Where's everyone think?
Hey, we never acknowledged that this is episode 69.
Nice.
Nice. So I'm going to put it at 69. Just for continuity purposes.
Good.
That was a joke. We only have 68 movies on the list, including Shang-Chi. This is the 68th movie. Wouldn't it be possible? All right. I feel like the first point of reference, of course, is Black Widow, which is currently at, if I can find it,
36.
36. Thank you. 36 below Die Hard, above The Rock.
I've got an idea.
Go for it. I can't wait to hear it.
I'll go ahead. I'll let her rip. I'm gonna go 24.
Ooh.
So one behind Kill Bill Volume 2.
And above Tokyo Drift. I was actually thinking the exact same spot.
See, I think this is better than Suicide Squad.
That's what was kind of tearing me as well. I don't know if it's better than Deadpool, though. That's what's kind of skewing me on that.
Yeah. Also Kill Bill Volume 2. That's
true. Those were the two daggers to me. It's like, it's certainly not better than Kill Bill Volume 2. I think I like Deadpool a little bit more.
Yeah, I would agree that it's better than Suicide Squad, though.
Yeah.
So it does make it a little tough.
So I mean, then you could throw it at 20. You could throw it at 22.
You could do 22. I'm not gonna agree with you yet, Blake. I want to hear what the other two have to say to maybe see if they can sway me somewhere else. Are you sticking at 24 though, Blake?
Yes, sir.
All right, Tyler.
I'm gonna have to go with 21.
21.
Yeah.
So Blow Boys in the Hood above Suicide Squad.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. Is it just because you think it's better than Suicide Squad?
That's a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
But I think on a second watch, this movie will still hold up, and it'll still probably surprise you a little bit more with the more you get to know it.
Sure. Nathaniel?
22.
22. So below the Suicide Squad and above Deadpool.
Correct. And that is because I think this is the exact same quality as the Suicide Squad. But that came first.
Exact same quality, but that came first. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this list in its entirety, in this little section here that we have going kind of between 17 or 18 down to 25 or so, I might just go ahead and throw it at 19.
So above The Conjuring, below Kill Bill Volume 1.
Correct. Because I look at The Conjuring, Boys in the Hood, and Suicide Squad, I honestly enjoyed this movie more than all three of those. The Conjuring's great, but maybe just the horror aspect of it is not as much up my alley as Shang-Chi is. And I really enjoyed this movie and the action and everything that comes along with it. So I think I'm going to slot it in at 19, actually.
Which puts us
19,
where?
Yeah, that's what I was about to figure out. We have a 19, a 21, a 22, and a 24. So I think the middle ground here would just be 21 or 22. Considering me and Blake are only one away, or I guess two away from 21 to 22.
Shang-Chi got an 8.0.
It did.
Oh, you can put it below Suicide Squad. I mean, that's where I had it, or above Suicide Squad, if you want to put it that way.
At 21.
What Suicide Squad got on IMDb? It's probably not above.
It's not an 8.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can find out here. It has a 7.4.
Oh, close.
Very close.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let it rip. 21 it is.
21. Below Boys in the Hood and above Suicide Squad. Everyone cool with that?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Slot it in for entry number 68 on the Entropy list. Well, we'll have to wait only 2 months. When does Eternals come out?
Soon.
Unless
you're in the future, in which case, the past.
Eternals comes out November 5th. So just about 2 months away from our next Marvel installment, which I'm sure we'll review because, ladies and gentlemen, Robb Stark and Jon Snow are back on screen together, and I would pay any amount of money to go and see that, and the fact that I only have to pay one movie ticket is incredible.
Well, the correct answer is because we're Marvel shills.
And we're Marvel shills.
We're paid by Disney to, give them good reviews. I mean, if you're listening, Disney. Or, I mean, DC, too, if you want us to talk about that, I'll talk about it when you need to.
Actually, DC, you can sponsor us, but I will not move the Snyder Cut or Justice League where they lie.
Gasp.
1984 depends on how much money you're offering. All right. Well, next week's episode and next week's review, as we said earlier, is going to be Malignant, the horror flick. So catch that on HBO Max or go to your local theater for screening and then join us for our review on episode 70. 70, not as exciting as episode 69, but still another 10 episodes down, 7 sets of 10. Moving on up here.
Not as exciting as 69, or as nice.
Nice. Kinky, as Nathaniel would say.
Oh, well, thought we were cutting that bit, but sure.
It's going to stay cut, so bit of sizzle. I don't think the listeners will ever get that piece of an inside joke, but yeah, that conversation is staying outside of this podcast. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review by chance?
We do not. If you want us to read your 5-star review out on the podcast, you got to give us a 5-star review. So give us a 5-star review. Thank you.
Cool. Please share the podcast. You can share with a friend, a family member, a member of your father's terrorist organization, or your father and his wife's long-lost village.
We didn't even talk about the rings themselves. They're pretty cool, yeah?
Yeah. I'm 2 thumbs up on the rings. Can't wait to
You
see
get a
what they
ton of
do.
powers, man. You can use it to jump, all type shit.
Yeah.
You hear to hear first, folks. You can jump and all types of shit.
Put it on the box. All right. And then you can also follow the show on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and on YouTube, we're just Back Row Banter. Please go subscribe to us there, even if it is not your primary place of listening. And then our email for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of the sort is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. Send us some questions. Send us some conversation questions for the end of the pod. We've really enjoyed doing those. And we'd love to do some more. And then also make sure you follow us on Twitter. That's where we sent out the update that this episode was going to get delayed by a day or so. All the updates on that kind of stuff is going to be on Twitter first. So if you want to stay up to date on that, that's where you can do so. Blake, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. That's me. That is I. Didn't have anything logged this weekend, or this week, I should say, because I didn't really watch much. But I'll definitely be on there. I might see if I'll put a review for Malignant, just because it being horror and kind of James Wan. So we'll see if I got some thoughts on that one. But I'll definitely start logging again. So we'll pass it on to we'll go to Adam today.
Oh, I was not prepared. I was on my phone. You can find me on Twitter at H24, which is what I use my phone a lot for. Some would say maybe a little too much. And then you can find me on Letterboxd at H, something I should probably use more, actually. Maybe I'll just switch my Twitter habits to Letterboxd and just peruse movies all day.
There you go. The dream.
The dream.
Movie reviews and everything in there.
Yeah. All right, I'll toss it on over to Nathaniel.
What up, folks? You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at @NSGingrich. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Check out my other podcast, The Sandpiper Tape, Season 2, coming soon. Did some writing this week. It was fun.
Ooh.
Tyler.
Sometimes I am live on Twitch. I am going to try and be more consistent. I was live twice this week. Once or twice?
Once
for sure.
Once for sure.
And yeah, I think we ended up pulling out like 5 dubs. It was really fun. So it was a good time. You can find me. That's at twitch.tv/El Trabajo, ELTRABAJO 87. And Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter are all Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES.
It's true, folks. You can find him there.
I think that's it for episode 69. Guys, we only get one episode 69, and we'll get like a 169 maybe eventually, but you know, it's been fun. It's been special.
We go long enough, we can go 6969.
That's some Joe Rogan shit, but yeah, I mean, maybe, who knows where we're at in 2037.
Maybe we'll be 69 when we're doing 6969.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, I guess I think Tyler would probably be around, you know.
Oh yeah, I guess we would never all hit it at the same time, would we?
Yeah.
We are different ages. But better chances that one of us will be.
There's a good chance that one of us will hit 69 at some point, and that will maybe hit episode 6969. Who knows? Stay tuned. Keep downloading this episode to help us get there. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys next week for our review of Malignant, and we'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other, everyone, and we will BRB.
Thanks for stopping by for a little listen. We appreciate everything that you do to help us grow. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. We appreciate every little thing. And yeah, just be good to those next to you. You never know how short something can be. So we will BRB.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll BRB, and as we kind of harped on earlier, sad day. Rest.
Oh, Blake, you cut out.
How unfortunate.
Oh no. I think I was gonna say rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. That's his name, right? Yeah, Michael K. Williams. And then what else does he say? You don't know where people are on their life and their journey, and yeah, we'll BRB. I think that's what he says.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Didn't you had a wedding, right, Ty? Or am I mistaken?
No, that was a couple weekends ago.
Okay.
Or last weekend? I don't know. Yeah, it was. I went down to my cabin.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
The cabal.
Le cabon.
What's a not a French word that sounds like it should be a French word?
Cabon. Blossom.
I'm in P11. This is bullshit. Why are you gonna start me back here?
Oh, my man's on his F1 kick.
Are y'all on an F1 kick?
Ooh. Bit of sizzle.